So we're already a little past time, so let's get started. Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to day 2 of our 2-day FDP program that we at Devlin are doing, and of course, it's conducted by GN Khalsa College of Mumbai. And this is a joint exercise between us and the faculty of Khalsa College, as well as part of their induction program on these technologies. So we're really happy to have so many faculties from all over the state and from various colleges, different backgrounds. And before yesterday's session was a little bit on the theoretical side, and today hopefully will be a little more practical. And we are going to show you how exactly you as teachers can use the platform, and also have your first interaction with these sort of 3D elements and also assets. So before we actually dive into the session, I would just request Honorable Vice Principal Sir, Kalsi Sir, to just give us a few words. So before we can move on with the session. Yes, Pratiksha Madam, is Kalsi Sir currently online? He was just online a moment ago.
Audio issue.
All right. So should we wait for him a little bit, or shall we maybe defer his address maybe to a little bit later?
Just wait a minute.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. I'll just try to contact him personally. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. In the meanwhile, I will recommend that everybody just spend a little bit of time clicking the link in the chat and just logging in for the first time on Eon XR, because we have given licenses to many of the faculties currently over here, and we have only, not everybody has still managed to activate their account. So I'll strongly recommend that you try it out so that you can join the session live when we'll be just starting a meeting with everybody.
Hello, Akshat.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a word with Kalsi sir. He's given his permissions to move ahead with the program because he's having some audio issues. So I think you can kickstart the program with a focus mainly on how teachers can use this technology and the software to basically understand the interface and interact in a better way with the students. So Akshat, please take ahead. I hope the students and the teachers enjoy this program. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. So again, good afternoon, everybody, and so welcome to day 2. And okay, yeah, I see Khalsi sir will be joining us a little bit later. Okay, so let's get started, and without any further ado, so today's session is again set up slightly long, but this purposefully we've blocked everyone's schedule so that in case there are any delays, there is ample time for everybody to experiment and try out the platform, so that you have that hands-on little bit of touch to where you're trying out all the features. So before we actually get started with the talk and I hand over to our first speaker of the day, I would just like to share a small starter kit that is basically a set of instructions that we have for everybody. This file should be shared with everybody beforehand through the mailers that we had sent out. My recommendation is that everybody click on the link in the chat, which is eonxr.com, and you may start for free, or if you have a license associated with your account, as if you have requested the same, you will be able to activate your account and just sign in so that you enter the home page. And for your respective computers, if you're attending from a PC, any desktop computer, we recommend that for the first step you do is to click on your user icon over here at the top right and to hit downloads. And I assume everybody would be having a Windows computer with them mostly, but if you have a Mac, you may click the button on the right. So just simply download the setup file that comes in from this little dialog box. And once you have executed the setup, you will be able to open lectures and 3D lessons on your computer through the platform for all of the assets that are made available to you. Okay, so if you would like to start check from your mobile phone while you're attending the session through Zoom on your computers, that I would recommend is even easier, because you simply have to go to Eon XR on the App Store and simply find this app, Eon XR. Just watch out that it isn't Eon XR Classic, it's a slightly older version, and simply install the same and you can just sign up for your account. And there is no extra installation required, unlike the PC, and you can start exploring lessons right away from there. So we will be following up through the first talk individually with many professors, many of the attendees over here, and yeah, so just to ensure that we have maximum people who are currently logged in and are able to join sessions if whatever we start with in the second half. All right, so allow me to just move on to the start of our talk, which is will be officially just begin. All right, so once again, welcome everybody to day 2 of our 2-day advanced teaching aids FDP on the Eon XR platform, and that is utilizing a very hands-on session today. So the agenda for this day, again, I am your lead speaker, but of course today there will be a lot of other speakers who will be coming in of various backgrounds, and they will be touching upon each of the 4 main topics that you're seeing here. So for the start of the session, we will be focusing on the core feature of the platform itself, which is what you as potentially will be using the most in your day-to-day lesson preparation and teaching activities, which is to create a 3D lesson which is centered across around one 3D asset itself. And of course, we will be looking at all the ins and outs of it, right from how you can select your new asset to in adding new content onto it, playing around with the asset, and also adding different kinds of content, from audios to even say external say video or other links that you might have. And once we have Ms. Sangeeta Das from Eon who will be coming and joining to contribute for this session, and from that we will be moving in to talk a little bit more about 360 lessons, and we have another guest speaker who will be describing a little bit about the specific use cases we are doing for medical and medicine applications, especially something that we're trying to implement with medical schools. And finally, I will be closing up the second half by showing you a very exciting feature that likely you will be very, very glad to see, which is what a new concept that we call XR meetings, which is just the level up from our current method of doing this 2D face-to-face video streaming, and we will be sharing things in 3D now instead. So I think everybody can just watch out for that session, and it is this session for which I recommend that everybody have a working, just logged into their Eon XR accounts, so that you can participate in the meeting when we kick off the session. Okay, so before I actually hand over to our speaker today, so I just want to introduce her. So our first guest speaker for today is Ms. Sangeeta Das, she's currently serving as customer success manager and also learning designer at Eon, and she's part of their India operations, where she works very closely with schools and colleges at a very close personal level with teachers, where teachers are constantly collaborating and corresponding with her for using the platform and creating their own content, so that they can try to have new and more innovative ways to conduct lessons with students. So she will be coming in to show some of the very core features on the platform. I'll just hand over to her in a bit. And our second guest speaker that will be speaking in the second half is Dr. Vidya Kalam. Apart from being my mother, she's also currently heading operations at Develop, and with her medical background, she will be touching upon a little bit on how this platform is set to completely, revolutionize the way that medicine is taught to students today. Not, from a very textbook or textual format, but, on a very spatial and, hands-on format where students are getting to interact directly with what they are going to be experiencing tomorrow when they are doctors, or whether they're working anywhere in the healthcare or biology fields. So maybe you can just watch out for some good examples that she has for us in store. Okay, so I am ready to hand over the session to Sangeeta. Sangeeta, I hope you're online.
Yes, thank you, Akshat. Thank you for the introduction.
Yes, yes.
And good afternoon, everyone. So I suppose I can get started right away, Akshat?
Yes, yes. Over to you, Sangeeta. I'll just stop sharing so that you can take over.
Right. All right. So just for the sake of better streaming, I suppose we can switch off the videos and just have the screen sharing going on.
That's all right.
Yep. I think, Akshat, you have to give me the screen sharing, right?
My mistake. Just let me. There we go. Okay. I think you can do it now.
Yes, yes, I can do it now. Thanks, Akshat. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, it's all there.
All right. So good afternoon once again, everyone. So today, I'm sure yesterday, since you already had a session with Akshat, you had some idea about the Eon XR platform and how that we can really help in creating your own content and at the same time help you learn, train, and perform in a different way. Right. So I'd like to start from the very beginning and maybe also reiterate some of the things that Akshat just shared. Right. So Eon XR is primarily an application that you can avail through your desktop or through your mobile. Right now, as you are seeing, I'm sharing both my laptop and my mobile screen.
Mhm.
So this is my laptop screen and this is my mobile screen, and I'll try to basically give an experience of both the UI and how they are kind of almost similar, except for the few features. All right. So just now I saw in the chat window someone has written that they're having difficulty logging in using some credential, right? We can at the end we can come back for a Q&A session. But meanwhile, I think you have to create your own login ID and create password.
Yes. Sangeeta, I'm sorry if I can just interject over here.
Sure.
Yeah. So just to address the question that I think Saman sir had brought up with in the chat, it's that the login is actually, we have assigned the login to the ID that you have written in the registration form. So Saman sir, I think you may have mentioned your Gmail ID or another personal ID that is not your college login. So if you can check with that, or if you may check the inbox of your Gmail account, you will definitely find a email from Eon XR, and there is a button in the mail. So please click on that, and you will be able to log in. I will be following up with Pawan will be following up with everybody while the talk is going on. So Sangeeta, yeah, sorry for the interruption. Back to you.
No issues. Yeah. So for desktop, once you have added your login ID password, simply click on next, and this will be our landing page. And meanwhile, if you are using the mobile application or if you are trying to download it for the first time, so you have to look for Eon XR Classic, right? So in the App Store, just ensure that there are two Eon XR, but as of now, you are downloading the Eon XR Classic and using it thereafter. All right. So we'll first begin with the desktop application and then we'll go back to the mobile. So once you have created your own account and logged in using the same, the first page that you will come across is the library page. It's the default landing page. And as the name suggests, it's basically a compilation of lessons. So if you scroll through, you will see a long list of lessons. Can you give me just 1 second, Akshat? Just a second.
Not an issue.
Hello. Sorry,
Yes,
there
yes.
was some background.
All right.
If teacher, kindly keep yourself in mute.
Yes. Request to all participants to, yeah, please put yourself on mute if you are currently unmuted. Yeah. Sangeeta, I have just muted everyone by default. Can you just try unmuting yourself?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. I think, yeah, the environment is good now.
All right. Great. Okay. So coming back to the library page. So this is a default collection of lessons which are already created based on some pedagogical standards and using the assets available in the XR platform. So just to get a hang of the platform, what you can do, just play around with the different lessons.
Mhm.
So on the left hand side, you see these different categories. You have, they're all demo categories, by the way. You have this aerospace, agriculture, architecture, etc., etc. Right? So feel free to explore by yourself and see lessons across different category, subjects of your interest, your expertise, etc. Right? Now, if you wish to filter through a particular grade, let's say you are looking at this chemistry lessons, for example. So select chemistry from the list of categories and then select a particular grade, let's say 10th grade. Okay, unfortunately, there is no lesson belonging to 10th grade. So I'll go back to something else. I'll just pick 6th grade and look for all
Maybe,
categories.
yeah, you can try for 12th. I may have made an assignment over there.
Okay. So 12th grade, all
Yeah.
categories.
Okay. I think maybe the grading system, maybe a slight error with that.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, maybe
that
let's
filter
switch
has
to
to be
any.
activated. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So as of now, we are just going with any grade and let's just look at lessons from a category point of view. All right. There's a couple of other ways how you can filter your lessons. So one is you can swap between 3D and 360 just by checking and unchecking these toggle buttons. So when I say a 3D lesson, what do I mean exactly? It's a lesson that is created around a 3D object. And how you can differentiate it as an user from the very look of it is when you see this full frame images like this Taj Mahal or this historic center of Italy, it's like a full picture card. So these are predominantly the 360 interactions, which Akshat will follow up definitely after my session of 3D lessons.
Mhm.
So right now I'm going to stick to only the 3D lesson part. And 3D lessons are indicated by a 3D model, which is not the full screen image, but just the model on the white screen. So this medical ventilator, this hoe, or this computer, or let's say this monocot seed structure, the lichen, all of these are 3D lessons. All right. You can also search by your keyword. So if you are looking for a specific lesson or lesson pertaining to a specific keyword, you can always do that by typing your search keyword. And there are a couple of filters which is available in the library page. One is the editor's choice. So editor's choice always is a default mode that shows you the lessons which are kind of handpicked by our team of editors. If you filter through name, it presents lessons on an alphabetical order. Date view will give you the latest ones on top and the oldest ones at the bottom. And view is like the most popular one. So the first one that will appear has the maximum number of views in your platform, right? So you can basically experience it yourself once you have downloaded the desktop application and of course you have downloaded the current version. So let me quickly show you once again how you do that. So come to your profile here. If you have added a picture, it will be there. Otherwise, it's just your own profile. And sorry, and come to the downloads, the second tab, right? And Akshat already mentioned that if you are using a Windows system, download Windows 10. Mostly it will be so. And if it's a Mac system, then download the Mac operating system. So signing into the Eon Xr platform is just the step one, but to see the lessons, you must download the latest version. And I'll show you what I mean by the latest version shortly. All right, let us start with one sample lesson, which is a example of a 3D lesson. All right. So as you can see, it's just a 3D model. It's not a full screen image. So we'll experience how a 3D lesson looks like and what are the activities and interactions that you have put inside it. Okay, now once you click on that lesson icon, you would be landing in this lesson setup page, right? And this page basically allows you to perform an array of different functions. You can simply play the lesson. So let's say you want to do a self-learning, or assume that it's already been assigned to your student and the student is now willing to learn it by himself. So all they will do is click on the play lesson. Start meeting, we are parking for the fourth item of this of today's session. And VR is something for which we need the definite VR glasses. So that also has to wait as of now because it's like a in-person experience, and we need the hardwares to experience the virtual reality. So as of now, we are going with the play lesson mode. But before that, the lesson setup page also give you information about quite a few things, like the lesson objective. So this is, I'm showing you from a demonstration perspective, let's say. So, but when you create it as a teacher for your own batch of students, for your own subject, you would be defining the lesson objective. So here we have written in this fashion, we within Eon, we try to follow Bloom's taxonomy and pick action words from the Bloom's list of action verbs and try to write the LOs that way. But feel free to experiment and use your own style while you are writing the learning objective. Lesson material is nothing but an additional learning tool. So you can basically copy paste any hyperlink that you feel is an additional learning tool for your student. So for example, this frog skin, along with creating this lesson, I want to share a video or maybe a PDF or maybe let's say just a simple worksheet with my students. So I can always copy paste that URL here. That will be provided to the student as an additional learning material. All right, other things will come back once we finish visiting the lesson. So simply click on play lesson. And here on the left up corner, you will see this Eon Xr 9.0.23. So this is our latest version. And every time we reinforce the idea of downloading the latest version, it's because of this. So until you have the latest one, you won't be able to see all the current features, and all the lessons might not play accurately. So ensure that you are looking at 9.0.23. All right. So now we are looking at this frog anatomy model. And what you are seeing me is playing with my laptop mouse, where I can move the model all around 360 degree, right? See it from all angles. And I can zoom in and zoom out. Right, it's just by using the right, I'm using an external mouse, so I'm using the right key to zoom in and zoom out, and the left click to move the other movements, to do the other movements. All right, so this is the first functionality. You can see your model from near and far and from all the 360 angles. There on the left hand side, you see that there are certain other functionality tools that is available to interact with the model. Okay. This is what we call annotation. This is nothing but a label. And this is a customizable design. So right now, the teacher who had created this, she has added all these labels, right? But these are again customizable structures. So you can delete them all, you can add your own labels, and you can add content to those labels according to your requirement, right? And they're all toggle functions. So every time you would notice that I can just click to activate and again click to deactivate or let them disappear. Third one is called an explode button. So by explode, we mean dismantling something and bringing them back together. So right now, once I click on this, you can see that all the systems got separated. Let me get the labels back. So what I can do, I have isolated this particular system, right, which is the skin. And then I can look at the different labels and parts that is associated with the skin alone, not with the other organs or organ systems. Again, I would go back. Okay. And again, I would explode, and let us take some other system. So let's say this one, and activate the labels. So now we are looking at the nervous system. And every time you would notice that when you go down the hierarchy, like we started with the whole of the frog, right? So that represents the home button. So visually, the item you are looking at and technically which level of hierarchy you are, it's always indicated by this home hierarchy or the path. So right now we have come down from the whole of the frog to the nervous system, right? And we can further explode it. So let's say we have taken this head. It's actually the brain, it's not the head. So here you can see that we have come down 3 levels. So from frog to nervous system to the head. And if I can further explode it, let's say this cerebrum, the hierarchy will further move 4 levels down. And here this is the end. So this line marks that you cannot go further. And again, it's based on the design requirement. So if my design requires me to drill down the cerebrum part further and show something in a 5th layer, I could have done that as well. So it's totally based on the subject matter expertise and the requirement of the curriculum or of that particular grade. Now, if you wish to go back, you can simply go back 1 level, right? Now I got the intact brain. And if I want to go back 1 more level, I get the entire nervous system. I can always deactivate the labels if I want to see it clutter-free, right? And further going back, I can go back to the whole of the frog. So similar way, we can perform this dissection activity. And this is a very important tool in XR, wherein, let's say in current scenario, the dissections are totally out of scope. So using such tools, you can actually demonstrate the parts of this frog anatomy and basically label them. And student can have a simulated experience of the dissection, almost similar to the lab. Right. This is the muscular system. And same way, we can basically go deeper down and down. Same way, here also you can see that we have come about 4 or 5 levels down and we have reached this particular muscle. All right. Now, what do we mean by a lesson? So this is your 3D model. You can always add labels and you can always add different pieces of content to it. So these numbers which are reflecting here, this number 2, they are basically different type of content added to it. So tympanic membrane is a label within the model, and to the label we have added 1 audio and 1 video. Now if I wish to play the audio player icon will appear here. You can see this blinking icon.
The tympanum, or eardrum, on a frog transmits sound waves to the inner ear and also...
Close it as of now because it's disturbing with my audio. So whatever action you perform, if you are selecting the video, you would notice that this icon will change to a video and will start blinking. Or you choose an audio, it will turn to an audio icon and start blinking. I'll just demonstrate that. So I chose the video, now it's a video icon. Or let's go to some other label, let's say external nerves. Here as well we have 1 audio and 1 video. So this icon behaves accordingly. Okay, now if you wish to see all the activities that is there within this lesson, what you can do is click on this burger menu. It's like the overall menu that presents you all the activities that is included in the lesson. So there is an intro audio, there is an intro video, there is a quiz, there is some other activities. Okay, which I would not elaborate here because I want to show you how to literally create one hands-on by yourself. Right. All right. Just for the end user experience, how the quiz looks like. So I activated a quiz from my menu. So what I did is I went to the menu, I selected the quiz, and now instead of audio video, you can see that this quiz thing is blinking. So similarly, activate that. There is a question, there is a timer, and there are 4 options. It's a simple multiple choice question. So, so far we try to give only 1 right answer, right? And it shows the right and wrong responses. And it also allows you 3 tries. If 3 tries you don't get it correct, of course, there are 4 options. So 4th try, the right answer shows up. And you can also decide the amount of time that you wish to provide for a particular question based on the complexity and the student competence in that particular subject area. All right. This is another audio. So it's
the
the
tympanum.
Audio icon again. All right. Let us try some other activity or maybe some other kind of model. So I'm going back to the library. Okay, I'll pick up this one, Gutenberg Press. Okay, now I have left these two items here. So when I come to this about section, it basically gives you the lesson composition. So far you saw that there are certain number of audios, certain number of videos and quiz and other things that I will slowly touch upon. So this composition will give you an idea what is already there. For example, this lesson doesn't have any activity. So it's just a model maybe with certain annotations or labels. So we would just see how the model looks like and how this explode and label functions behave like. Then we'll slowly shift to lesson creation. All right. So this is our Gutenberg Press model. And same way, you can see that we have these labels here. Similar way, we can show this zoom in, zoom out functionality. All right. Same way, we can do the explode, wherein you can take a small part of your model, right? And we can come down 3 levels, which is the end of it. So the spindle is the last level. And again, you can move it all the way and basically show it in real time. So far, we are talking about 3D. I have not talked about the first button, which is how to change the mode. So far we are looking at the touch mode. We're using my either my let's say my laptop mouse or my desktop mouse or however way I can play with the 3D model alone. So far we have not gone to the augmented and virtual reality modes, for which I'll be taking you to the mobile interface and demonstrate the AR. VR has to wait as of now. Other functionalities remain the same. This is annotation, second button. Third one is explode. So you explode it and put the pieces back together. Fourth one we call X-ray. So X-ray view is, it's always default activated, right? So whichever part of the model you are looking at, you will always see the internal details of that. So for example, in this spring, you can see this coil structure when you activate the spring mode. This is very important when you are dealing with, let's say, motor parts, an engine, or you are talking about human skeletal system or any other organ system, wherein you want to show the inner details and intricacies within a complex structure, right? All right. So last but not the least, we have this function called animation. So it is an optional function. Not all models you would notice that have animation. But yes, explode function comes with almost 99% of the models. Animation function comes with, let's say, a 10 to 15% of the models. If at all the subject and the concept area requires an animation, it will be added to that. All right, given that, now let's quickly see how we can create our own lesson as teachers. So library is anyways a ready to serve solution, right? You can search across categories and see if it really fits your requirement. You can, whether you can really readily deploy one of these lessons into your classroom. But how can you create your own? So that's also as similarly simple. It's not at all a complex process. And all you have to do is come to this create button. So click on the create and then select 3D lesson. So in Eon Xr library, currently there are more than 1,000 plus assets which are free for you to use, right? Either you can search with a keyword, right? I can, let's say I can type a keyword and all the assets pertaining to that keyword will show up. Or I can simply browse across categories. All right. So right now you're looking at all the assets that I have in my library, which are somewhere related to engine or different types of engine. And there are these page selections, so you can decide how many assets you are looking at a certain point of time. Right now, I'm not touching much upon this marketplace. So there is something called marketplace. You would always see that the free assets are showing up on top. So here, free assets. And that's a pretty long list by itself. Right. So here you are already looking at almost more than 100 assets which are only pertaining to the word engine. But if there is a scenario that none of these assets are meeting your requirement and you want a more complex model, then there is something called Eon Xr Marketplace. It's something like all the other online marketplaces, like how you purchase something from Amazon or Flipkart. It's basically you have your existing credit, and you have and your asset fits within that budget, right? So let's say if I have $27.74, I can purchase this, but I may not be able to purchase something of $35 value, right? So this is a paid version and premium assets. So right now this can wait. We will pick one of our free assets and try creating a lesson. So I'm going to pick something from chemistry, something basic, let's say the Bunsen burner. All right. So you can see there are these two Bunsen burner. I am picking just the first one. So I have picked my asset. Now there is a little bit of lesson setup that I have to do, and I can always change my name to something that I want. So this is my demo lesson. I have to select a category. So let's say we would select chemistry, which is here, and we have to select a grade level, let's say 7th grade. That's it, and we are done. Then you simply click on build lesson. And always, whatever action you perform, like play lesson or create lesson, you would see that this loading page will always show up. And ensure that you are looking at the current version just to avail all the functionalities that is there in the current version. All right, so this is our Bunsen burner, and we can do similar functions. We can explode, we can annotate, and always you would notice that there are some default annotations that those are already created. So someone who has created the model, they would have already added some annotations for the sake of labeling each part. But if you wish to name it alternately, you can always do that. Okay, now what do we do while creating a lesson? First thing, we get sorted with our labels, right? So you explode and see that whether all the labels are making sense to you. Okay, I cannot go beyond this, it seems. So this is my explode, and I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. 5. All right. So first I will figure out if my labels are correct. And if I wish to change, let's say this barrel. So what you do, you left click on that particular label, which is already given, and call it, let's say, I'll call it nozzle and leave it there. This is mouth of tube. I would also rename it and call it tube opening, right? So I just renamed 2 labels. And I wish to add one extra label to somewhere, maybe here. Okay, so same thing, like how you edited the existing label, you have to make a left click and then double select, and then I would just call it test label. Just for demo purpose, we are creating this. So I have got this test label also added to my entire scenario. So this way you decide how many labels you are creating, where exactly you are creating. Now, if I wish to move this test label from here to here, I can do that as well. So for that, what you do, click on that and get this blue bubble, and then you can basically drag it wherever you want. You want to label it here or here or here, whichever part of this model part. And save. That's it. So first function, finalize your annotations. Ensure that in all parts, check the small explode parts as well, right? And ensure that in the explode part as well, you have a label. So here, as of now, right now, there is no label. So let us create one. Okay, for some reason, I'm not able to create a label here. Color. Okay. This must be a glitch, because ideally, if you have these labels in the explode fashion, so let's say we call it nozzle and this one we call tube opening, it should be still available when you go for individual screen part view. So right now when I'm looking at this mouth of tube, it should ideally appear. So this is, I would take it in the back end. This is definitely a platform issue and should always reflect in all levels of hierarchy. All right. Now going forward with adding activities. So expand this right hand side here. And now you decide what kind of content you wish to add. So let me show you what are the possibilities of adding content. First of all, you select your label, then select this plus icon. And there is this list of 5-6 activities that you can add to this particular piece, to the nozzle alone. You can add an audio, you can add a video, etc., etc. Let's see one by one. So how we can add an audio? Select audio. You can do two things. One, you can record. So when you wish to record, all you have to do is, now I have started recording, right? So now whatever I say, it's getting recorded. All right, I'm speaking from outside the computer. So, but it captures both. It captures the screen as well as my audio. Stop. You can always replay, right? So, and save. So this is as simple as you talking and capturing your audio and saving it as an audio clip. That's the first way of adding audio content to your lesson. Second way of adding content, let us try one more here. Second way is converting text to speech. So ideally what we do within our team of learning design, we try to create a storyboard around it. So assume that we are creating a lesson for 7th graders for introduction to Bunsen burner. I would have already created a flow. In my audio, how would I start? For this tube opening piece, what exactly I want to talk about. So this is like a background work that I would have already done. So either you can type your text here or you can copy paste from your existing document. Right? And once this is selected, there are two selections. One is for language and one is for voice. So this is for further customizing and making more intimate content for your learners. Since students are not always familiar with, let's say, UK accent or US English, we sometimes prefer to go for Indian English. So we have an option for that as well. You can see even there is a Hindi available in the Indian accent, of course. And there is an English which is available for India. So you can decide whether you are looking forward to a foreign accent or you stick to Indian English. And then accordingly, you pick a voice artist. Right? And then you can always play back.
Type your text here.
And save. Right? So these are the two primary ways of adding your audio content to a particular piece. Now coming to a video content. So for video, usually we go back to YouTube or any third-party video solution provider. I would right now just demonstrate YouTube. So here, right? Maybe I want to show how to set it up, how to do the gas connection, and then how to light the Bunsen burner. Video. So what I'll do, it's another additional learning mode for my students. So I'll simply copy this hyperlink, go back to my lesson authoring tool and paste it here. Right? Once you paste it here, the video should appear and then click on save. Yep. Now it is here. Now I click on save. All right. So we have added video content to this as well. And all we have to do is come here and save. Don't forget to save the activities that you are adding to your different labels. All right. Now there is a third way and the most interesting way and I would say most customizable way of adding audio video content to your lesson is 3D recording. So 3D recording, unlike the audio recording, it allows you to capture both your audio and screen interactions for the student. So let's say, so right now I would start recording simply by clicking this recorder button. It has started recording. Now, whatever screen actions I perform, let's say I'm showing the lower part of the burner, then I'm showing the gas connection, then I'm showing this top opening, and I'm exploding it now, or I'm activating the labels, right? And then I am, maybe I'm taking this collar part and this air vent zoomed in, and then I'm further talking about these two parts. What is the function of this and what are the safety measures one should use, etc., etc. So all this talking and screen movements are getting recorded by your 3D recording functionality. Then stop it. And similarly, it's available simply by clicking this recorder button. It has started recording. Now, whatever screen actions I perform, let's say I'm showing the lower part of the burner, then I'm showing the gas connection. So you see this then I'm showing the top. We call it magic wand, and I'm exploding this hand tool basically, or I'm activating the label, my action, right? And then I am maybe I'm taking this collar part and this air. Just pause here for a moment. There are two views. So once as a teacher in the back end, while creating my lesson, I have finished creating this lesson. I have talked about part A, B, C, D, right? But when my student plays it back, he or she has two options of playing it. Either he can see from a first person view, like which is he is seeing it directly, or he can see from a third person perspective. So right now, this is the first person perspective, where you would see that there is a red dot pointing at things, which is nothing but my mouse interactions and the audio. Let's play it in first person and zoomed in, and then I'm further talking about these two parts. What is the function of this, and what are the safety measures one should use, etc., etc. So all this talking and screen. So this was the first person view where the student will experience only that red dot and things moving around and zooming in, zooming out, exploding, etc. But if I wish to play it, movements are getting recorded by you. Okay. Now I'll play it in a third person view. Simply by clicking this recorder. Third person view, you see that hand it has started recording. Magic wand. Now, whatever screen actions I perform, let's say I'm correct. So this and the wand showing the lower part of the this presents the third person view, where the student can actually see how the teacher has recorded or how the teacher is actually pointing at certain things and explaining them. All right. So this is the third mode of recording your audio video content using the same model. And there is an interesting feature within 3D recording tool is called 3D assessment. So simply you have to click on this. Now it gives you an overall performance evaluation of how the student has performed in this particular recording. And so far, all the activities like this quiz, locate, identify, etc., which I'll be creating shortly now. Okay. So we are so far done with the three comps. I think someone has unmuted. Can you please go back?
Yeah, let me just check that. Okay. Yeah. Sangeeta, can you just try unmuting yourself once more?
Yeah. Thank you, Akshay.
Yeah.
All right. So so far we have tried audio in two different formats: text to speech. We have done on-the-spot audio recording. We have tried 3D recording, and we have also tried adding a video from YouTube. Now we would see the assessment activities. So far this was the learning activity, where you can add your audio, video content, your screen interactions, and student will basically use them as a self-learning tool. Now, how they can quickly self-evaluate themselves, right? So for that, we have these three: identify, locate, and quiz. So how do we create that? For that, let's pick identify, right? And identify is kind of a type-in activity. So it will ask you to name the part correctly. Basically, you have to type it down. So I can either decide to identify the whole of the model, which is the Bunsen burner, or I can decide to have a small piece. Let's say this one, the nozzle, right? And here, when I create this identify, it will basically ask me to write the name, which is nothing but the nozzle. Sorry. Yeah. And here, there is a timer using which you can define how much time you wish to allocate, whether it's a 30-second or a max of 240 seconds. So we are keeping 45 seconds as of now and save. Similarly, this locate is another activity where you have to spot that particular piece in a jumbled up structure. So assume that these labels are not there and you are asked to find out the nozzle. Which piece is the nozzle? So as a student, you basically have to find out that piece. That is nothing but locate activity, right? So how do we create one? We go to that particular label that we wish to locate and select the locate activity. And again, decide your timer, how much time you are allocating for that. and click on save. As simple as that. All right, last but not the least, we would see how to create the quiz. This is also pretty straightforward and a template based design. You have a single stem for your question, and there are 4 options, 1 correct answer and 3 distractors. So let's say this is a sample question, right? This is a test label, so I'll call it option 1, option 2, option 4, right? Let's say option 2 is my correct answer, so I can decide. It also provides multiple selection, but we still recommend to go for a single select as of now because of some design limitations. But technically, yes, it can handle more than 1 correct answer. You can have as many as 3 correct answers as well. All right, so we are keeping option 2 as of now, and again deciding the time limit, and click on save. That's all. Okay, so we have created this 4 activities so far. We basically saw all the activities: adding audio, adding video, identify, locate, quiz, and 3D recording. All right. Now we would see how this lesson basically looks like in your mobile device, right? So far we have been talking all about the desktop. Now let us quickly see how it is in the mobile. Okay. So this is my Eon XR app. It's pretty much similar to what you have been doing in the desktop so far. Okay. Yeah. All right. So once you have created your login ID password, so after downloading the Eon XR Classic, it will similarly ask for your credentials, right? So feed the same data, the login ID, the password, and then it will be your own name that will appear on the title screen. And in the bottom, how we had it in the desktop, there is library as the default page. So right now you're looking at the library. Right? You can simply scroll and look through the lessons across different categories, this automobile, biology, chemistry, etc. And here is this create button. So just now we have done one lesson creation using the 3D lesson tab. Same way you can create your lesson in the mobile device as well. Okay. So we would not, for the sake of time, I suppose we would not create another one in mobile, but I'll show you how it appears in different modalities and how you switch between 3D and AR. All right. Meanwhile, I forgot to mention one thing. So once you are done creating your lesson, right, this Bunsen burner we have created, next step is you close it. All right. Then we go back to our lesson authoring page. And first thing we do is refresh. Right. And now when I come to this about section, you can see that we have added a lot of activities as lesson composition. We have added this 3 lesson elements, 3 audio narrations, 1 embedded video, 1 locate, 1 identify, etc., etc. So this is an important feature when you are passing your lesson to a reviewer, right? So they know that you have added certain number of activities to satisfy a specific learning outcome. That also you should have written here in the overview section. And in the about section, we additionally allow you to add some tags. Tags are nothing but your keywords. So let's say I would just write this Bunsen burner, chemistry, lab. So these are some related keywords that you can add as a metadata. So later on, when the student or let's say a peer or anyone within your organization is looking for this kind of a lesson, they can type any of these keywords and find your lesson in the top layer. Right? So this is just to ensure that your lesson has better visibility after you are done creating. And you can further edit your category and level if you wish to do so. All right. Going back to our mobile again. All right. Okay, so here, same way how we had it in the desktop, we had this play lesson thing, right? In mobile, we just alternately call it start lesson. So I would just start lesson. Start meeting is something that Akshat will be dealing with shortly. Okay, same loading screen you can see. It keeps coming back always with all your interactions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now this is my mobile screen and I'm still looking at the 3D model, right? I can activate these annotations and see, I can now zoom in and zoom out and also see the top, bottom. But now I'm doing everything with a touch mode because it's my mobile screen. Okay, now what alternately I can do is I can cast it in AR. So for that, what I'll do, activate this AR field, which is a second tab. Okay, and I'm casting it against my desk. So this field appears. So you have to wait for this field and always ensure that you are using a dark background or at least a smooth background. If it's not a black background, at least it's like smooth, not shiny, and minimum lighting. Like it should not be very well bright lit. Then the field sometimes doesn't appear. Okay. All you have to do is touch in the center of that screen, that field, and your model appears on your physical reality, right? So now I have this burner against my screen, and I have these labels also against my screen, whatever I had added. Okay, I can basically expand it, scale it up as much as I want, right? So this, I literally have to move away from my table if I have to scale it up to the possibility that it can hold. So as of now, we'll just see it in a table size structure, right? And you can do similar activities like how we were dissecting it out. We were looking at different parts. So I'm going close to this, the middle part, and then the base part, or I'm just, let's say, moving it all the way and show this nozzle. So this is pretty much, useful and very effective, especially when we are talking about learning and teaching after pandemic days, where we are still in this kind of virtual school scenario, both school and college, and practicals have taken a backseat when it comes to hands-on demonstration of certain things like chemistry labs, lab equipments, or reactions per se. Maybe I'll showcase one more example just to highlight the value and the add-on that this feature can have in your learning. Just give me 1 second. Okay, it should be able to exit. Let us go back to the frog skin that we just now have discussed. Okay. Similarly, I'll click on Start Lesson. Just give it a while the lesson loads. Just to mention here, we are in the middle of a new version release, so you might experience a slight delay in between. So just bear with that for some time, maybe another couple of days, and then it should be up and running in a much smoother fashion. Okay, it's taking longer than required. We'll take something else.
Yeah, feel free to use any other lesson, or
Yeah.
possibly just retrying this might help. Yeah.
All right. So this is a building. Here, actually, this is would have been nice if I could show you, in an open field or in a bigger space where I could really scale it up to the extent possible. But right now, I'll try to showcase as much as I can. So this is a building, and if I keep scaling it up, we really call it 1:1 scaling. So if you keep the object next to the real one, let's say another building, it basically can go up to a 3 or 4 story structure. That kind of enlargement is possible. Okay, maybe if we can get some natural light here. All right, this is the basement area and the lobby. Right, these are the sides of the building. And if I show you from top, so this is basically the terrace. And this is the max I can scale up in my desk, but it can go on and on in terms of expanding. And here, as you can see, you are actually inside the building, right? You can look at this windows and structures and the staircase. And from here, I'm basically looking at the balcony and the other side of the wall. We'll try to see one last model, which is maybe more in context. Let's try something from biology again. Okay, this is like one of my favorite, and it gives a very clear idea of the layers of the stomach, which is otherwise pretty complicated when you are trying to explain like how each layer is placed within the other, and how they are interconnected, and how basically you can slice them up. So this is not a practical scenario, but it is more of an experiential learning of a concept that is otherwise pretty abstract when we are talking about the layers of the stomach. So let's see how that can help here. Okay. Sorry, my apologies. I think this is not loading properly. So let us try something else. Sorry for the long wait. So this is just for the experience. I would showcase one more model, how you can switch between 3D and AR, right? So similarly, you get your field and just touch on the center screen to cast your model against the real backdrop. So this is an engine, and as you can see that we can, same way, we can expand the whole structure and we can basically bring it real time and then look at all different parts from all different angles. So this involves a lot of kinesthetic, it appreciates the kinesthetic learning as well, because you cannot really have this kind of experience sitting in one place. You literally have to move around and see it from all angles, from near and far. And yeah, so I'm basically moving away from my decks, so I have to come back. I'm scaling it down just for the sake of demonstration, right? And you can similar way explode the model parts, right? And after exploding, you can isolate one single piece from there. Let's say we have taken this pistons, right? And after exploding, I can further go closer and examine them one by one. And currently, Eon XR is much more enhanced in terms of the experience that and the visual quality that its models present. So you can see that they present real-time shadows, right? So next to each of these pistons, there is a piece of shadow which is totally responsive. So as I move my pieces, they actually move along with their own shadow. Same way, let us go back to the home and again dismantle, maybe take another piece. So we have taken these piston rods, and you can see the kind of experience that it gives you along with the different parts, and the ability to basically see them from all different angles, as if like you're wearing a glass and you are basically looking at them from front, back, right, left, and top and down everywhere. And similarly, the shadow response based on the angle that you are looking at it from. All right. So once you have downloaded the mobile app, as Akshat currently pointed out, the mobile is much more friendly and concise, and it's a quick experience for you. So desktop takes additional inputs in terms of downloading the Mac or the Windows compatible version. But mobile, the moment you have downloaded the Eon XR Classic, you are good to go. So download your app, then create your sign in, and then try creating your lessons as well. Same way. So basically select create and go for 3D lessons, and then pick up a model, right? You can simply browse through the list of free assets and then pick a model and then start creating your activities. Yes. One last thing, after you are done creating your lesson, what you have to do, you have to publish your lesson in order to make it visible to the rest of the participants. So for that, what I do, I'll come to this 3-dot menu and click on show in library. Until I do that, it basically sits in my workspace. It doesn't become public. So by my workspace, I mean this second space that we have not yet discussed. So this is like your personal dashboard, whatever you are creating. So I have created this one I was trying to practice some time ago, and this is the one I have finally created and published, right? So the published ones will show you this cloud icon, and the unpublished ones with this strike through. So ensure you have published, and then you can go for assignments. So how do we assign? We go to the lesson, and then there are multiple ways of assigning your lesson to your students. First is this one. You can simply share your lesson. You can share it within the institution. So let's say by institution, I mean right now we are within this Development Technologies, which is the name of the institute. So if I keep this institution option selected, it will be visible only to the members of my institute. But if I click on anyone, it becomes open. So now I can select this URL and I can paste it anywhere. I can share it through WhatsApp or mail or message or any other social media platform just by sharing this link. But ensure you have selected anyone for an external share. You can also have this QR code. So for every lesson you create, the system automatically generates a QR code, and you can download or just share the image of this QR code with your contacts in order to share your lesson. Now, how do we assign it to your students who are already a part of your organization or your institute? So for that, come to the manage assignment section, which is the second tab, and just type your name here. Okay, so the moment I type my letters, it shows me two different options. One is a user option or one is a group option. So right now, Development Technologies doesn't have groups except the miscellaneous groups. But assume that you have created a group for, let's say, your first semester students, or let's say grade 10, 11, 12, accordingly subject-wise, like grade 10 science, grade 11 mathematics, and so on. So you have to predefine your groups, group names, and you have to pre-assign your students to those groups as well. So that's like a back-end work that the lead admin should take care beforehand. And once your groups are defined, you can straight away assign that particular lesson to a group. Let me get that group itself. Okay, so this is my group. Okay, great. Thank you, Akshat. So FDP guest, Akshat has already created a group. Now, once I assign it to the FDP guests, it all goes to them as an individual assignment. And I can also decide whether I want to give them a viewing rights, like wherein you will be just able to play the lesson, not do anything about it, not be able to edit the existing lesson, or whether I want to give you edit rights. So this is also very helpful feature when you are creating and sharing and reviewing among your peers for fine tuning. You can always decide whether it's an edit right or just a view right. So I'm giving you edit right and done. So once I have done an assignment, it will basically reflect like this. There is this notification icon, and let's say Akshat has assigned me this particular lesson, right? So now I click on it and see what he has assigned me. Now it's gone. Correct. So that way you can basically check the lessons which are assigned to you. So I'm talking about your students. Once you as a teacher have created and assigned, it will sit in their notification center. Yeah, that's pretty much of this demonstration, I suppose. And mobile functionalities are pretty much same. You have these three major tabs: library, my workspace, and create, same as our desktop. Here, library, my workspace, and create. Sorry, library, my workspace, and create. And here as well, we have the three in the bottom. So feel free to explore both. I would recommend you can start with your mobile just to have a quick bite of the platform and experience the different functionalities quickly. And then you can start using the desktop, which is like which has more features and more comfortable for anyone to create a lesson or even play a lesson for that matter. But for AR, yes, you always have to go back to your mobile. AR needs a back camera, and that is there only in your mobile. So whenever you are playing a lesson using the desktop, you would notice that the AR functionality is always deactivated, both AR and VR. All right. So I think that's it from my side, Akshat. Now we can open for a short Q&A.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thanks so much, Sangeeta, for a great talk. I'm sure everybody found it very informative, and it covered a lot of features. I mean, you just put them through the entire ringer right from scratch. So, yeah. And so if anybody has any other questions in the chat, like we are free to just tackle them right now. If you saw anything that you found interesting or you want to learn more about, you can just go ahead and ask us. You can unmute yourself and also ask us directly.
Right. Meanwhile, we have some questions in the chat window. Someone asked, is it possible to sign in with Google? Yes, it is possible. Mm-hmm. So I would share my screen once again. Okay. I'll log out from both my desktop and mobile and show you how to sign in with Google. So here you can see the desktop, there is an option sign in with Google, right? Similarly, when you are in your mobile, here is my mobile. So here as well, there are three options. You can sign in with Google, with Facebook, or with your Apple ID if you're using an iPhone. Same options in both the cases. Just that in desktop, you don't have the Apple sign in. Or you can use the credentials that is already given by your institute. And for that, you have to use the first, this field, the email and password.
Yeah. Also, just to add on to that, if you are joining from your institute account, then your institute login ID is also possible. In that case, you have to do a very small step of just activating a license, or the access that will be granted through your college's email ID. So whichever .edu.in email ID you may have, so we will go through a small process of sending an activation mail over there. So for now, all the guests who have been granted some licenses for a short while, we have sent this activation to your Gmail accounts. So you can, if you still haven't signed up, you can still check your Gmail accounts inbox, and you'll find an email over there. So we have also resent some of the activation mails. You can check once again if you haven't found it.
Right.
Okay. So let's just tackle one more question. Yeah. I think Mehtab sir mentioned whether it is possible to show some artifacts or sculptures. I think he is asking from the context of showing it in AR mode, or possibly, to what extent can we work with, artifacts, and how we can annotate sculptures, for example.
Okay, sure. I'll try to bring in something on my mobile screen. Just give me 1 second. Sculptures, right?
Right. I think what you have is a very great one, right over there at the start here.
The Anubis. Right, the Egyptian sculpture. I hope this loads properly. Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is the 3D, and 3D interaction is same, like you pinch in, pinch out on your screen to basically zoom in and zoom out. And when it comes to AR, just go to the this trio, and here you would see all the AR VR options are activated. I would click on AR, get the field and get the model on my desk. Basically wherever you can get it, on your floor, in an open field, like because if you are casting it an open field, you can experience the scalability property, right? Like here it's a small statue on my desk, but if you really want to experience it in life size, you can do it against a field or a park, let's say. In some cases, you may notice that the explode button is not functioning. For example, here, I cannot really click on this explode button. The reason because the model doesn't really require to be exploded, because it's a statue, right? It's an artifact or a statue which we need to show in one piece. So in such cases, as a best pedagogical practice, we might have not given the explode function and not broken it into parts. And same way, you can experience this nice glossy finish. So this is a new add-on to our XR platform, which was not there before, right? This gloss finish and the lighting as you move, you can see this lighting on the head or the shoulder. It really responds to you. So how you are moving your camera based on that angle and the source of the light, you can really see the light moving all over. And similarly, the shadow. Not just the light, but the shadow as well behaves in a pretty much responsive fashion.
Yes, I think this has been the biggest, change, or I would say upgrade, since we came into the new version from 8 to 9. The live shadows really adds on to the realism of, adding a virtual object to the real world. And I might go on a bit of a tangent, but this has been one of the few main challenges for this technology to become distinguishable, or I would say indistinguishable from the real world objects that we see. So yeah, still there are a lot of things that can be done, such as working but those are advanced aspects, I would say, and they would only be pushing the boundaries. But I would say we are very close right now.
Correct. Any more questions, Akshar?
Yeah. So there are some logistical questions about the fact that whether they're having some installation issues or whether some sculptures don't have a tagging option. Okay. So I think, just to answer Mehtab sir's doubt, I think if he's working on the freemium version of the application, he may not get to edit or publish his own changes onto the app. He can probably use it passively, like what is already available freely open to him, to the free users. But I think if you have to make changes and publish, you may have to, get at least a proper guest license with us. Am I right, Sangeeta?
Right. So as a freemium user, he should be able to create 5 lessons on his own. So you might notice then in this create tab, there is a number 5 that is appearing on top of the create button.
Right.
That to indicate that you can create only 5 lessons and you cannot edit anything existing. Right. So if you are picking a model and then adding your own annotations and then followed by adding audio video content to it, that is possible. And at the same time, you can publish that as well. But if you wish to modify an existing lesson, that might not be possible in a freemium version.
Yes, correct. So Mehtab sir, maybe you can go to the create button and just select the sculpture that you want to edit through the assets directly and not try to edit an existing lesson. I think that is the limitation that you're facing.
Right.
Okay. So I think another question that we have, if we just have a little bit more time, is that so Dr. Kaur is wondering if we can show analytical instruments and say molecular biology, say experiments. So at the very least, we can show instruments very well. The platform is very well equipped to tackle complicated or say complex equipment and instruments. So certainly we can have those on the platform. In fact, there is one that I can show during my piece of the talk. So yeah, I'll definitely tackle your question over there, madam.
All right. So I'll park that for you then.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
All right.
I think we're good so far on the questions. Yeah. Fairly positive so far.
Sure.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any question they would like to ask verbally?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is there any license version so that we can purchase for particular institute?
Absolutely, yes. So right now this session, in fact, is a sort of impromptu training session for faculty at Jain Khalsa College who is organizing this, and they have been gracious enough to invite other faculties, which is why we have kept this open for you. And if you would like to obtain licenses, I will definitely get in touch with you post the session, and I can walk you through the process for that.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay.
And sir, another question is,
yes,
ma'am, can you show some human anatomy, like particular things?
Absolutely. So, madam, we just are going to transition into that in the next phase of the session. So, we'll just be showing you a few more features on 360 lessons after this, and after that, so Dr. Kadam will be, showing some very specific examples, which I think you might like.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
हेलो सर.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, मुझे एक क्वेश्चन था आपको पूछना था, मैडम को भी पूछना था. मैं लैंग्वेज टीचर हूँ सर. तो लैंग्वेज के लिए ये कैसे फायदेमंद हो सकता है? अगर मुझे ड्रामा सिखाना है बच्चों को, मैं ड्रामा सिखाती हूँ या पोएम सिखाती हूँ, या जो मेरा सब्जेक्ट है, मेरा सब्जेक्ट मराठी है या हिंदी है या समथिंग कोई भी हो, वो उसके लिए ये कैसे यूजफुल हो सकता है? या खाली ओनली साइंस और इसके लिए ये यूजफुल है क्या?
No, definitely not. I think next coming up with Akshat is the 360 lesson scenario, right? So there, I think आपको पता चलेगा कि there is a lot more possibility that you can do around your language or even subjects like history or geography, right? Like how you can add content to a particular locality, let's say, or a monument or a place or multiple places. And a good thing about 360 lesson that Akshat will be shortly covering is that you can actually stitch multiple images together. So unlike the 3D lesson, the 360 lessons are image-based interactions, but it gives you a 360 experience, like more of like as if you are looking all around the place, and you can have multiple images in one particular lesson. So that also I'm going to reserve for Akshat's next demonstration. Right,
Sure.
Akshat?
Yes. Thanks for tackling that. And
Okay.
yeah. So, madam, just to add on to that, yeah, we can definitely do it. So there are some innovative methods that you can try. For example, it is possible to already import existing content that is on other platforms. For example, YouTube. If there is 360 content over there, you can bring it on your platform. You can design it in a way where it is structured as a lesson for your students. So you are not, say, limited to, for example, after the post lecture, if you're going to tell your students go to YouTube and look at this sample नाटक or something, तर वहाँ पे आप उस वीडियो को प्लेटफॉर्म पर लाके आप प्लेटफॉर्म पे फीचर करा सकते हो. आपको कोई स्टेज है, एनी प्लेस दैट यू वांट टू शो कि यहाँ पे नाटक ऐसे चलते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल फेमस थिएटर्स एक्सेट्रा, those 360 images can be brought onto the platform and they can be shown. So as part of your entire, for example, experience of lecturing the student, you can add this flavor ki,
right.
Yeah, all these things are possible. So we'll show you some samples on how that is being done. In fact, the next speaker, Pawan, will also try to upload one photo that is, say, on his computer or on his phone, and he can show you, if you have access to the platform, any photo that you have taken through just your mobile phone, you can put on the platform and immediately make available to your students.
Right. And you can further add additional content of your choice to that photo.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I think if that's all the questions so far, we can cut this over here and we can move on to the next phase of the session.
All right. Thank you, Akshat.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks for joining and making time for us. So
glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye. Okay. So allow me to just quickly transition us to the next phase of our talk, which is we just had a very great session from Ms. Sangeeta from Eons, and then our next part will be, we will be taking a look at 360 lessons, where similar to what you saw for 3D, we will also be doing for 360 image based lessons. So Pawan will be coming in over there for showing us a few examples, and then we will move on to the second half of the session. Okay, Pawan, are you online with us?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Just let me stop sharing so that I can hand it over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for handing me this opportunity. So let me start by sharing my screen. Okay, sir, is this visible to everybody? Just let me know.
I think it is, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, hey everybody, I welcome you all once again to today's session. So what we have saw till now, what Sangeeta ma'am had shared to us is a 360 lesson possibility. 3D lesson possibility, and what I'll be talking on is 360 lesson possibility. So what do I mean by that is, yesterday we have, in the yesterday's session, we have seen a possibility of Taj Mahal, how we have seen the lesson of Taj Mahal and transited through it. So when we land the Eon XR page, we can see there are so many assets available. And here are two options, a 3D lesson and 360 lesson. So these are the two type of lesson which we can create. And we just saw the 3D lesson, how we can create the 3D lesson in a very detailed manner. So I'll be like sharing how we can create the 361. Okay. So like moving ahead. So what will be the discussion for this session will be first we'll be speaking on what is a 360 lesson, like why do we need a 360 lesson. So in that I'll be covering like how the image based session are transitioning into the future world. Next is exploring the 360 lesson. We'll be creating a lot of three lesson around this technology and a virtual playground. Okay. So like just suppose if we have imagine a world that exists without boundaries. For example, we are sitting in this pandemic inside our home, and most of us can't move here out of our home. But what if we can? Not realistically, but virtually. But that too feels very real. So this can be done by using this 360 mode and going into the virtual world, tapping just into the virtual world. So that's how we can like entertain and also create a new possibility for our students to learn and engage in a very new manner. So to start with the session, I'll just start with one of the lesson, that is a geographical lesson. So okay, this is okay. So this is a lesson of Ellora caves. So in the Ellora caves, we have like if anybody who is here and takes the section of arts or let's say culture or anything else. So Ellora caves is something which is very historical to us. So when we learn about Ellora caves, what we usually think is okay. It is in our interaction with the students and teacher. What we usually see is a student teacher telling the student that it is built around this date 600 to like uh, this around this date, and where it is situated, it is in Aurangabad, but there's no virtual interaction and students cannot like visualize okay, we are learning about Ellora caves, but how does it look and can we go there, and different things of kind of things. Also colleges and schools like organize these these picnic to the various things places. So we can like use this 360 possibility to like visit these places within the realm of our computer screen. So in this like these the feature of Ellora caves the which I'm showing you, so we can transition through every different way. And this is like a panorama image which we can take from our cell phones. There's nothing like special image required. It's like since we have the image which we capture through our phone is very straight, like 180-degree image. But here what we are taking is a 360 image and just uploading it into the platform. So what it will create it will create a virtual world around us. So that feels like we are virtually there, not physically, but virtually there. Yeah. So on the same line of interest, like I'll also share one more lesson which I have created so that pictures are more clear. Okay. So this is another historical place called known as Amer Fort. It's in Jaipur. So in the same way, the way which we have explored Ellora caves, we can explore this Amer Fort as well. So why I have picked this lesson, because it's a significance also, but these things, the way it like present to us, okay, the way which we engage in our studies nowadays is totally different, is totally changing. So it is a very immersive way. Now we can interact and it is very experiential in learning. So here I'm not like I just have played the lesson which is already created, but we can also create a lesson by scratch. So how we can do it? So it's a like so it can be done by this simple create button. We have 3D lesson, 360 lesson. Since we are transitioning from into the newer version, 360 lesson is not currently available, but we can edit our lesson. Oh. So, so this is the annotation button which we have just seen earlier in the 3D lesson, and with this we can add multiple features. It's just not key we are showing images and students just engage with images. If I'm taking a lesson around the history and if I want to teach the Taj Mahal lesson, I can add audio which can be my own voice and which can also be a computer generated voice. I can also add and identify, locate the quiz and 3D recording, every other feature which I have used in the 3D lesson, I can use in 360 lesson as well. So it's not just a picture which is rotating around, it's much more than that. That is, we can have very immersive learning with this also. So yeah, I mean, okay. So what we have saw is like a geographical space, how we can use the 360 images to like cross the boundaries and like not just in the realm of books, but we can like visit the places physically which we are just reading through it and having a more experiential learning from it. But it is not just about the geographical places, it has much more use cases, such as nowadays we have like the factory tools and the laboratory tools and much more than. So for that, I have taken a video. It's a very short video, okay, what is going inside a factory and which we are not commonly able to visit. So it's a 360 video, it's just uh, so this video I have picked from YouTube. So as you can see, we can also insert the video from YouTube as well. And this like this feature can create so much immersive learning for any student that suppose these kind of things are not very accessible, and but we are very curious to know what's actually going inside a fact, what's actually how are things getting built. So by using these kinds of images and lessons, we can like have more interactive learning with the students. So like I'll just connect my phone to wait a minute. Yeah. So for the demonstration purpose, I'll just connect my phone and upload pictures from my phone and let you know how we can create the lesson from the scratch. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm inside my phone screen. So it's very similar like we have just shown. We have three spaces: library, workspace, and create. So it's not the latest version. If you have downloaded the latest version, you might not see the 360 button. It's the classic app which I am using. So I'll just click on the 360 lesson and I'll just select the images which I have taken or downloaded from any source. I'll just pick these two images and upload. Next. And here we can give the title, what name we want to give our lecture. I will say factory visit. Okay. Yeah. So here, if I start the lesson, so I have just uploaded this video for the images. It takes a little time to load. Yeah. So currently I'm using my mobile phone, and with my mobile phone, yeah, I hope you can see my screen clearly. I think so.
Yes, we
so
can.
With my mobile.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if I move my mobile phone around, and I can show the clear picture where I am and how experiential this learning can be, because these things are not generally accessible to within the reach of our home. And if I just click next, okay. Yeah. So yeah, these kind of 360 lesson which we have just seen is not like very accessible by general public. So what like if I say what are the features and what are the like points which we can cover and what are the domains which we can cover through these 360 lessons. So it's not like we can cover multiple domains. So it's not just the laboratories or the factories or the example which I have taken, which is the geographical regions, which can be related to the art and culture section. The laboratories can be the science section. So it has very vast majority of learning, and it's very experiential. Like if somebody from the class is having like the retention they cannot visualize things, so we can use these images and lectures to create our own lesson, which I have just created. I have just used two images, but we can put on multiple images and create lectures which we want to display. So it has a multiple possibility. And one more use case can be the laboratories, which like since we are not able to attend our schools and colleges, and we have lost touch on how students can experiment with things, and like how we are how earlier we used to visit the laboratories and play around with the uh, things which are available there, but with the pandemic we have lost touch with it. So within this 360 lesson, we can also visit these laboratories. So I have picked a lesson. Okay. So this is an aircraft workshop. Like, so this was a pre-existing lesson. We can have multiple domains of lesson, but due to some like uploading thing, we are transitioning. We have some limited options. So I have chosen which are available in the platform right now. So it is a aerospace library. Here we can see these are the domes which are used to like produce the whole rocket, the lateral part, the mid part, and the sub part. And going to the next picture, we can see these are the like experimental thing. We are here. We can place our own plane or rocket, which is used for experimenting. So these laboratories experience can help students learn more effectively. Like it's a very engaging. It's not a very passive mode of learning. It's very active mode of learning. Like I can uh, visualize what are these how what works are going inside the factory, and I can also add the points, uh, not yet but later in the stage when upgrade is completed. So I can add the point like on this what tool is this, and explain what is the use of this tool. And not just the point, we can add audio video, which I have just talked in the lesson of Taj Mahal, which uh, already has pre-existing list. So these are the some use cases of 360 lesson, which can be like very practical and can be used in different domains, not just in the realm of science and technology, but in every domain. Yeah. So like we can create much more lesson, but for now it is
Yeah, Pawan, did we lose your audio for a moment?
hello.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So like from this Eon 360 lesson, since it's not very uh, transition into the new phase, but we have like looked into how we can use these images to create our own lesson and add buttons into it, which was uh, the same thing, the audio feature, the video feature, and every feature which are available. So yeah, so if anything which so that's it, we can do in 360 lesson, but if anything I can help with more. So
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much, Pawan. And shall we just tackle a few questions that are in the chat
yes,
right now?
yes sir.
Yeah, yeah. So Dr. Pallavi ma'am is asking if for creating 360 tours, only panoramic photos can be used, or even normal photos are possible. So let me just take this one. So Pallavi ma'am, yeah, for this, it is not a strict requirement that only panoramic photos are required. The platform does to an extent take also regular panoramas. There are other formats that you can take, like photospheres. Also, if you have at least sufficient single snapshots of the location that you want to shoot, there are various stitching features that we can use to create a panorama from these individual pictures and then upload onto the platform. So it is possible with multiple formats as well. But if you upload a single regular rectangular frame picture, which is probably has a field of view of less than 180 degrees, yes, it will get I think we're talking about a little bit morphed when it's put onto the platform, because the platform is trying to create a complete sphere out of the single photograph. So these days it is very easy to create panoramas, of course, but also photospheres using just your phones, because there are a huge number of open source camera applications that are usable. Like, I'm sure your phone itself has a feature for that, but even Google Camera, if you try out, you will certainly find it very easy to create photospheres from there. I'm sure you can try just uploading even the living room of your own home, or possibly the garden near your house, and just uploading onto the platform and checking for yourself. Of course, it's not that you will be sharing it with everyone else. It will still be private for you, and unless you choose to put it out in the public. So I would really recommend everybody to just try it out. In fact, with Khalsa College, we'll also be putting a few 360 photographs of the campus, say from the inside, etc. So the students will also have something to check out once they get onto the platform. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Jayashri madam is asking how much time it will take to download. So madam, that might be a slight issue with a very transient issue with the App Store. I will recommend, I will have someone follow up with you. There are two apps that are currently on the store. I just hope that you are not getting confused between Eon XR Classic and Eon XR. Depending on the application, it might the response might be different. The latest one is Eon XR, so I recommend that you just go for that on the App Store. Okay. Right. I think not many questions. Okay. Yes. One. Yeah. New question that we just have come in is the advantage of the license. Okay. So the advantage license gives is it gives you complete, creator control that we are demonstrating today in this session. And as a freemium user, you get access to only a limited number of assets that are on the platform. That is, those are which are made completely free into, for everybody to use. But those assets that are created by teachers, by even some students, and of course by us at Devlon for our colleges that we are working with, probably those may not be open for you. So you may not get to use the platform to the full extent. Also, for creating your own lessons, if you want to use it in your classroom, there is a limit. You can only create up to maybe 5 lessons to start with. And but on getting the license, you not only get the ability to make as many lessons as you want, you are saving time by getting being able to duplicate lessons that others have already made and editing them according to your own. So I will just walk you through one simple duplication method where you can take a popular lesson, and if you want to make just a small change, you can make it your own without having to make it from scratch. There is that. And finally, and this is the best part, is that you can have your students participate with you if you are a license holder, on the platform, where you can hold these XR meetings that I will just try to, we will just show you on screen over here very shortly. Yeah. So few more questions, quite a lot of questions about the license. We'll be sure to, tackle all of those in the end. One question that we have about, which is asking the function of AR and VR tab of Eon XR. Yes. So this is where you are switching from just viewing the content on your mobile screen or on your computer to viewing it on against your camera, where you are placing the object through your camera lens into the real world and you're seeing it through your phone. And this experience can be shared with somebody who is also looking at the same object. So that is where AR mode comes into the picture. I will just ask you to do a thought experiment where in your classroom, if you are physically wanting to demonstrate one item to your students, if you and your students are all logged in and you're all looking at the same item, on AR mode, you can place it on your table and your students can also huddle with their phones looking through it. So it will be extremely similar to having the object on the table, apart from the fact that you cannot physically touch it. So that really AR brings a next level of realism to it. And the VR tab it's a more personal experience. If you want to place the object in some fictitious world and also into a completely blank space, and you want to see it very closely, you want to walk around it, then you can do it in VR. But the requirement for that is the specialized hardware, which is a headset. These days it is available very cheaply. In fact, your phones can become VR headsets if you have the specialized even goggle that is now cheaply available, where you can put in your phone. So VR mode basically converts the phone into a lens for the left and right eye, and the image is just processed accordingly. So you can if you have any small Google Cardboard or simple VR goggles where you can put in your phone, I would strongly recommend you trying this feature. So you can see many complex models and you can take advantage of that over here. Okay. Finally, another question that let's just tackle right now. Can we use the platform for theory assessment? Absolutely. In fact, so there is a feature for having quiz questions, like as Sangeeta has mentioned when she was doing her part of the demo. You can add as many quiz questions as you want. I'm sure many faculties today are doing MCQ based exams, but students are only simply logging into a Google form and signing in the MCQ test, which is not a very realistic assessment of the student. Possibly it will be at a much better level if the student is signing in, checking into the object on the platform, and then answering MCQ questions that are very specific. So you have the chance to become so specific with the question that that you could not do on a simple Google form, because the student doesn't have the context. But on the platform, you can ask extremely specific MCQ questions. There is a feature for having short answer questions as well. We are still working on upgrading it to have paragraph based answers, if that is what you would like. We are looking at user feedback. For now, many people are happy with MCQ and short answer based assessments on the platform. So those can be done, yes. All right. And okay, there is one more that just came up. If you're using already created templates, will you get copyright issues? No. So as long as you're using them within the platform itself, and you have an account, there is absolutely no copyright claim that will happen on you. In fact, if you are a member of the platform, you have the license. Even if you are a freemium user, to the extent of the licenses, that the assets that are made available to you, there is absolutely no restriction. You can use the asset however you like. So feel free to experiment on it, touch on any asset that you find interesting, explore it. In fact, I would also recommend you on the app, if you're not doing anything, you can just play around with it. In fact, quickly start the lesson, and you will just see how easy and intuitive it is to examine these objects in 3D instead of just reading about them in textbooks. So yeah, would strongly recommend that about everybody. And yeah, just a follow up on that, outside the platform, in your lesson structures, yes, I don't think there is any copyright claim. These are all in the MIT license, though I will have to confirm that. But there is no copyright issue as far as I think, as far as the way I know. So, all right. If are there any more questions that we can tackle? Let's see. Okay. Okay, I think we tackle a fair amount of questions. There are still some that are asking for some demonstrations. So I will be sure to just handle that when I will be speaking shortly. So let's move on to the next phase of the session. We are already 2 hours inside. I'm sure everybody might be getting a little bit tired by now. So we'll try to keep it interesting. Right. Next upcoming is we will be showing a few examples on use cases in medicine, which I'm sure some of you may be interested in seeing. So what we have for you is a few use cases in biology studies and adoption by, say, even some medical colleges that we are currently undergoing. So Dr. Vidya Kalam will be speaking on that in this piece. And yeah, madam, are you currently online?
Yes, I'm online.
All right, sure. So shall I hand it over to you then? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, madam. You can start whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Yes.
We are good to go.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday afternoon. Nice to see everyone. Yes. So attentive. Only the trainers can have this quality ability to deliver, so much, and your enthusiasm, everybody's enthusiasm to deliver best to their students. This is what I can feel from this session. All are attentive. Let me start my session. Uh, as Akshat has introduced me, uh, I have a good hand in medicine. Plus, I have an academic background also for last 21 years. And now I think I will move on to my use cases.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
yes,
yeah,
we can start with the respiratory systems. Yes. We will handle human respiratory system. As we start from breathing in the air, in this pandemic, I have selected specifically this topic because everybody is well concerned with the respiratory system. So little add on this platform too. So we will just start with the human respiratory system. As we take air in, air has to have a good quality of oxygen level. Akshat, can you shift on?
Sure. Let's move to the platform.
Platform, yeah. Yes, we'll tackle with the respiratory system.
Oh, just a moment. Allow me to sign in once again. Yeah, I think we're good to go now.
Yeah, here we will see the parts of respiratory system as a nasal passage, and that's part we have not taken into this video, but this lesson will show you the parts of respiratory system inside. Once the air is inhaled from nasal cavity, it enters trachea, and then it enters the bronchi. Then bronchi are still bifurcated into bronchioles, which are secondary and tertiary, this bronchial tree. Yes. These bronchi are divided into two parts. Yes. Just don't rotate. Yes. And then, yeah, we have left lung and right lung, correct? Yeah, right lung again divided into three parts, and left lung is divided into two parts. So bronchial tree also, from main bronchi, it is divided into two subsections and three subsections. So again, secondary bronchi, tertiary bronchi, there is a big mesh of bronchi which gets bifurcated, and then it, yes, correct. Here we can see the bronchi. Yes, this is a main bronchiole, then divided in secondary and tertiary bronchi. Then here is a tertiary bronchi. It ends up with the bronchioles. So in next lesson, we can see the gas exchange with help of oxygen, alveoli and mesh of arteries and supply. So just go back.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Are we checking any features within the lesson?
Yes, yes. We will see the, yes. Yeah, play the.
Yes, it's a slightly long video, but it just covers all the points that Madam has just brought up. So I think if we can check out some other features.
Yes. Then there is a small quiz we can always assign to the students. Yes. So it asks you which holds true for the human respiratory system. Then we have to read the options and click the correct one. Yes. Carbon dioxide is exhaled. Correct. Correct. So we will go to the next. Yes. Yeah. Larynx. Yeah. This is a very important part of our body. Yeah. There is an audio also we have incorporated.
The larynx, commonly called the voice box, or glottis, is the passageway for air between the pharynx above and the trachea below. The larynx bears a flap called epiglottis. It closes during swallowing, to avoid entry of food into the windpipe. The larynx plays an essential role in human speech.
Correct. Yeah, this is the trachea.
The trachea is commonly called the windpipe. It is the main airway to the lungs. The hyaline cartilage in the tracheal wall provides support and keeps the trachea from collapsing. The trachea divides into the right and left bronchi and enters the lungs.
Yes, here we can identify. It is a small piece.
I hope I got this right. Is that how you spell it? Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
There is a quiz wherein we can identify the lungs also, whether left or right. Go back. Yes. Which of the following prevents entry of the food into lungs?
Okay.
Epiglottis.
All right. Okay. So I think this way it is easy to, as in a lesson format, try to assess the students while you are telling them features and you're instructing them through these audio tapes.
Right.
Okay. I think finally we have little time for one more piece.
Correct.
Okay.
So here you can locate any lung, a left lung from both the lungs. So if you select the wrong one, it will show incorrect. Yeah.
Okay, this is not it. Then
incorrect. Yes, left is correct because it is divided into two lobes.
Okay, I think it's kind of gone time out. So good to show even this feature that if the student does not answer in time, then the correct answer is shown and the teacher can also see that, the student was not able to answer this question. Okay.
Can we move to alveolar?
Yes. All right, madam, over to you.
Yeah, this is the tertiary bronchioles, which are at the end of the tertiary bronchi. Alveoli are situated. It is into big bunch, big mesh. It is supplied by heavily blood supply, and here what happens is oxygen is absorbed by RBCs which are there in arterial blood, and carbon dioxide is uh, thrown into the exhaled into the venous blood, and here the blood is purified, and this is a very important part of our lung function. Yes. So these are the parts: bronchioles, alveoli, blood supply, and there is a smooth muscles which has a contraction relaxation functions. Yeah.
I think personally it is really great to see that even something this small and intricate can be made into such detail, where you're breaking it down to each component, and the student is getting to see what each small part is being called. Such as, I think I don't even know what this is, this elastin, but I think if I listen to the audio, probably I will get to learn much better.
Yes.
Alveolar elastin plays a crucial role in the alveolar formation. It provides elasticity to the alveoli. They are more flexible, supporting the alveoli functioning of gas exchange.
All right, madam, where do we head next?
No, you have to go back. Here only. Go to alveolar. There is a quiz.
Okay, are we looking at this quiz?
Yes. Yes. Which of the following statements are true? Yeah. Alveolar arrange linearly, horizontally, cluster, hexagonal. So it is a big cluster. So cluster is a right. Correct. So like this we can give everything in detail. Yes.
Okay, shall we move on to the next lesson?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can move on to the ventilator.
Sure.
Yes. Earlier scenario, pre-COVID ventilator means we used to think that it is a terminal stage, so patient is put on ventilator, may not come home. But now the scenario is changed totally. Now what happens? There is a breathing assistance is provided when there is a difficulty of breathing and the oxygen levels are dropped down. The ventilator helps patient to breathe properly, and oxygen saturation levels, once they are up, then we withdraw ventilator. Yeah, we could see the parts of ventilator. Up.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, this is the ventilator everybody must have seen. Yes. There is a mask which is applied on the patient's face. Yes, and there is a air flowing in which goes into the monitor, and then with oxygen pressure monitored, O2 saturation, airflow pressure monitored, and then it is humidified air is supplied to the patient. So humidifier is equally important because air cannot be given to patient fully dry. It has to have a certain amount of water content. So humidifier also has a equally important as we are giving oxygen. And monitor actually helps monitoring the controlling air pressure, oxygen concentration. Air pressure helps to inflate affected alveoli and expansion of lungs. Oxygen concentration is adjusted according to the O2 level of the patient, and accordingly it is supplied to maintain the hemoconcentration of oxygen. Yes. So monitoring this ventilator is equally important. Yes.
The ventilator is to be monitored very carefully. Level of oxygen supply is in proportionate ratio of concentration of O2 in the air. Humidifier has an equally important role.
Yes, there is a small quiz.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, here we ask student what crucial level is to be checked on the monitor. What air pressure, oxygen concentration, carbon dioxide level, what water concentration. So here majorly we monitor oxygen concentration, which is applied to the patient. So these lessons can be taught to the students when they are at their home, cannot travel to the lab sessions, and for this pandemic we have to have all this session hands-on, like parts of the instrument, how to use everything. We need to teach students. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. I want to talk little about how AR helps in medical education. Yes, here what happens is role of artificial intelligence in the medical field is very marvelous. Here, in case of pneumonia, tuberculosis, fibrosis, tumors, how AI helps us to play a role over here is like AI does comparative study with solved data of earlier images, which is in lakhs and lakhs of data of X-ray, MRI, and CT scan can be studied properly by AI for some basic algorithms, and it gives us fantastic results. It does the comparative study in short span of time and gives expert reports, saving the human error. There is no possibility of any error, and the time also is saved. In orthopedic domain, AI helps in analyzing reports and generate flawless results. More importantly, many spinal surgeries are assisted by robots, which are pre-programmed. They do fantastic job. They help all surgeons, and it is pre-programmed robots which do the spinal surgeries, knee surgeries, and orthopedic domain. It is very much in advance. Yeah. And if any questions, I'm open to answer them.
Yeah, shall we see if there are any questions in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think one gentleman is asking us how many quiz questions can be incorporated into the quiz, into the lesson. So let me take this question, madam. I think there is no such limit to that.
Yeah.
You can add as many quiz questions as you want. In fact, if you want to add 10 as many questions to one single annotation, even that is okay. So there is no limit per se. So yeah, you can feel free to use it in whatever way you like. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so I think that those were only one of the major questions. Another question we had pop up was about again showing us a little bit more about how AR function works. So I'll just be tackling that now because we are also close to the end, and yeah, I think many people are excited and itching to check out more about that. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much, madam. So with your permission, I'll just move on to the final piece of the
Yes.
session, which is so herein I'll be again taking over, and I'll just cover the last few features that we have on the platform over here at Eon XR, and these features I think are some of the most exciting ones because it's not just you working alone with this very amazing thing, a way of doing things, but also working together with people, which is of XR meetings. So before we actually move into that, since we are already on the topic of AI in healthcare, I'd also like to iterate a little bit about how AI and AR VR is possible, can be merged for potential applications in the future, which is, and in fact, it is now already happening to quite an extent. So this is a very fantastic, really next level, or you could say next generation application, which we will just soon see in this quick video. And it is a concept that has only popped up in the last 3 years because people have been able to reliably and accurately perform this segmentation. So the word is a little very specific. It's very new. It's called panoptic segmentation, by which it means that you can segment all many categories of objects in a real setting. So let me just show you what is possible with it. Today, if you are in a real world, in a room, and you would like to bring this room to life in a virtual world, you are not limited to sitting and creating models from scratch through some Blender or another application, similar applications which I had shown you in yesterday's session. But here what is happening is with AI and just your camera and this application, the program is able to detect what is the depth, what is the structure of everything that it is seeing, and it is reconstructing it on its own through using concepts of computer vision. And this exact scan that you are seeing with a sort of complete sense of depth and of structure is now brought to life into this artificial this black environment, which is a virtual space that we're seeing. So if this is already, you can bring your room into this space, it is also possible for you to traverse it virtually. And of course, the quality over here leaves a little bit to be desired, but with just a little bit more, improved algorithm or computing power and possibly a slightly better phone, you can do so much better. The quality can increase a lot. And this is close to happening in real time, which is just absolutely fantastic. This was not even conceived to be possible, say about 10 years ago. And further, these are some of the examples that are possible from there. And so while we are on the topic, another small application that I want to bring up is how it is. This was related to a question that I received yesterday. So I was really intrigued on answering that, which is whether it is possible to capture small or large, objects and structures that we are seeing out there in the world and bringing them into, say, the platform or any other application we want. And the answer to that is a concept called photogrammetry, which is now really possible through a collection of easily available open source items and just your smartphone or, say, a good camera phone. So let's just take a quick look at what this means, what is possible with it. I'll just try to shuffle through the process over here. So this person over here is doing a tutorial about how he can recreate this model with just a few pictures on his camera phone, where on taking the pictures, he is simply uploading them into an example of a decent set of photos for photogrammetry. Yeah. So if you have just a bunch of pictures like this, what you're going to do is simply upload it into a couple of softwares, visualize them, provide it into a freely available application for photogrammetry, and with this you can try to recreate the
we only want to keep the points on our
uh,
so we'll delete everything else.
the object itself without any knowledge of how to create meshes or polygons. This is again a open source algorithm known as Colmap, which this person has now been able to identify the object. Now what he's doing is he is just removing all the noise from the system, and he has isolated just that small object. Now you will say, okay, the quality is a little bit bad, but with this much level of fidelity, it is now possible to do simple tweaks and little bit of touch-ups on the object itself, and he can smoothen it out, make a good version of it, and finally this is ready to use anywhere you want, possibly on the Eon platform, possibly even if you want to put it into a 3D printer. So now he's just touching it up a little bit more so that you can use it however way you like. Yeah. So there is another example. If you are recreating it, a sculpture that you are currently maybe seeing out there in the open in the real world, you can take plenty of pictures of this sculpture. You can recreate that using photogrammetry, and you can possibly 3D print it, or even bring it up on Eon XR and show it to your students. Yeah. So this is just one of the examples that I wanted to exemplify that with current levels of AI that use computer vision and these visualization methods of AR and VR, it is now possible to do so many amazing things just with your homemade equipment. It's not that you have to invest in very expensive material. Possibly if you want to print something, then a 3D printer is required, but apart from that, just your smartphone is now able to do this, which I think is amazing. Also your regular medium range Windows 10 PCs can also do this sort of programming. And so when we induct colleges with Eon XR, this is even part of the process where we give them small tutorials on how teachers and students, if they're interested in bringing their own little models onto the platform, this is what they can do. Yeah. So this was just a live example that I wanted to show you. And finally, let's move on to just the last feature that I want to share with everyone today, which is regarding XR meetings. So what we will do is we will just let's get away from the presentation and go on to the platform itself, where I'll just try to share a few examples. And let me just cast my phone as well. Let's just see if we can play this. Here we go. Okay, so we are seeing one example over here where, okay, did I lose my, let's see if we can get it once again. Allow me a moment. I think we're facing just a little bit of there we go. All right, so what you're seeing over here is just me logged in onto the Eon XR platform. This is my computer and my cell phone. Let's just try to retry. It takes a couple of tries. Okay, yeah, good to go. So let me just show you a few features that are possible. Many people are itching to check out the AR feature once again. So let me show you something as an educator. If you are going to be changing lessons, designing them, what is the sort of thing you can do? So I'm sure Sangeeta covered this piece. So this is just my workspace. These are some of the lessons that I'm currently actively editing and working on right now. Sangeeta had shown the frog anatomy in detail, and I'm sure you may have seen what is the level of the amount of systems that are on it, and to what detail and depth that you can create these lessons. Now, I had just briefly mentioned it yesterday during yesterday's day 1 session, is that there is also a feature where you can animate your models to show students how moving parts are looking. So I don't think this was covered much today, so I just want to touch upon this. This is a very simple model. I just want to use something that is not complex so that many teachers can relate to it. So this is a simple atomic structure model that we have. I'm sure everybody remembers that it's basically a nucleus surrounded by electrons who have their own individual orbits. Now, if I'm teaching this to, say, a first year student who is learning just the essential concepts of chemistry, physical chemistry, and we want to make him understand how, when our understanding of atoms evolved from, say, the Bohr's plum pudding model onto Rutherford, or even the more currently widely known orbital model of the electrons. So just to show you, this is some of the annotations. You can easily note these down. I'm sure it's starting to get a little repetitive for everybody, but let me just show you a feature that was not touched upon too much. This is called a 3D recording. So as a teacher, what I did is I recorded this beforehand and just left it. The students, if they are accessing this as homework, they can open this lesson, they can run the recording.
This is perhaps one of the most mysterious things and the most puzzling things in
during
physics
recording
today, quantum physics. We're gonna use some memos here to really explain to you the concept of it, which is not so easy to understand. Anyway.
So this was just a sample of what is possible. I think one of the features that you will like is that anything that you're pointing at is visible to the students. And if you go into, you can also change it such that the view that you had when you were recording, this view is, the students can follow that, if they wish in their recording, or they can view it in whatever way they want while they're listening to you move your pointer and your audio is playing. So this is one of the things. And finally, let me just show you the animation feature, which you can exploit when you're looking at these things moving around. So let me just try to move each electron on its own. It's possible to do this sort of animation where each of the individual electrons is getting animated. Also, there is another version of this same model where all of the electrons are moving at once. I won't go to that. We're getting a little bit short of time. So, but these are some of the things that's possible. And again, after this is done, you can also check the annotations, possibly even break it apart into its individual components. And these animations will really help the students understand not only spatially, but also temporally about how this model is, interacting. All the parts are interacting with each other in time. So this is just one of the things. Let me show you another small example quickly. This was again something that I had brought up yesterday, but I think even a simple basic mathematics professors will find very interesting, is that if you're trying to explain how cross sections are working, sometimes you will realize that you are limited by your blackboard. When I was doing this in junior college, or possibly in my first year of studies, the professor had tried to draw a conic section on the blackboard or the whiteboard, and he was trying to cut planes across it. But all we are seeing is just this one view. But today, if you want to see how a plane, if it cuts a cone parallelly, how is the circle being formed? You can exactly visualize that. The exact cross section can be seen. The students can look at it, and circle is fine. Circle is still easier to picture. But what are the requirements for a parabolic cross section to form? In fact, I found when I was able to see that you can have visualizations like this, changed my idea. And I was not limited to the fact that I have to memorize these angular formulas. That only it is when the internal angle of the cone is with the cross section angle of the plane is when we have a parabola, and in the other cases you have an ellipse or a hyperbola or something like that. I did not have to memorize or rote learn my formulae. So this is just an example of how a hyperbolic curve is created with that respective cross section. So this is just one example of so many that are possible. In fact, essential geometry is one of the most impactful applications of, this platform, where simple models like this, something that you can possibly, even with a very basic understanding of Blender, you, a student, a very hobby researcher, can create these. And of course, we are constantly making this, more lessons like this, so that you have more content available for you to use for your students. Right. So this was just another instance of how animations can really help in the understanding of the lesson that you can use. And let's move on to one of the main parts that I want to touch upon today. So I've taken a slightly complicated model. So, but that's just because I want everybody to try and able to check this out. So with the time we have left, I would like to start a XR meeting with everybody. Now, XR meeting is something that you probably have not seen so far. So the process for it is very simple. If you are currently logged in on Eon XR, what you can do is you can check over here if you're working on a PC. If you're working on your mobile phones, let me just pull up my mobile window, and you can see over here this hamburger menu, these 3 lines that are here. If you click upon it, you have the ability to join an Eon XR meeting. So everybody who has a guest license activated, also if you have a freemium license, you can give it a try. Though I think you may have only a limited access to the meeting, but you can definitely try it. So I'm going to execute an XR meeting on the platform. Let me just do it from my phone, so it will be easier to transition to AR mode. Let's go to, I'm doing the exact same steps that I was doing on the PC version of the app. Let's, in my workspace, the lessons that we have, let's just check the CPU assembly that we've been trying to finalize. So if I start a meeting here, what happens is this is a meeting code very similar to the Zoom meeting code that you have. You consider it to be, the link to the meeting. Please enter this number into the meeting when you join, which is 604877092. I will just put that up in the chat so that it is there available for you to see whenever possible. Let's just see. Okay, so also we'll just quickly change my region here to India, and let's just launch the meeting. Okay, so if you're doing, a meeting or a lesson, it by default switches to your landscape mode of the phone. So that's why we've just changed the meeting here. So this is right now, it's just me. I will just strongly recommend that everybody open up the app on your phone and just join in on the meeting, so that you can also possibly interact and be part of this meeting process live as it is happening. So allow me to just make a few changes on my phone. I'm now looking into my phone and working directly. I'm just zooming into this entire setup that we have, and it is we have created this intricate computer assembly setup so that we as teachers, it is possible for you to I'm not sure to what extent we are teaching this, but in laboratories, this is, I think, a very useful skill to have even in the real world once everybody's graduating. So we have one attendee, Pawan over here, who has joined us. So Pawan, let's just play a small experiment where we are switching between presenter modes. So I'll just give you the cue for that. So right now, this is what we're doing. I am the presenter of this meeting. So what that means is that I am currently the leader, and if I am doing a particular change to this model, it is being reflected on Pawan's screen wherever he is sitting currently at his home, on his cell phone or his computer, wherever he's looking from. So if you would like to see this for yourself, I strongly recommend at least on the app or on your desktop computers, you can just click over here for join meeting, where you just have to input the room code and click on join, and you will be directed to the meeting itself, and you can possibly join this experiment that we're having. Right. So let's move on with what I want to show you is that with all of these components that are there, it is now possible for me as a teacher. The lesson that I have created, it's all sitting here for me. But as I'm doing this meeting, I have the freedom to talk to my students and let me just put this on mute. And also instruct them, show them exactly what I'm looking at, what are the components that they should focus on, move things around. Also, let's just put this all into the box. You can start with the clean, outer casing of the computer assembly that you have. You can start by first explaining to your students that, when you see this computer in your real world out there, wherever you come across it, you will see that there are all of these ports that are available over here, and I can show the student exactly what I'm talking about because I am completely zooming in and pointing at it. What I can also do is if I want to show them what is looking inside, we can use this X-ray button. I'm sure you've all seen this through the 3D lesson creation, but this is just one example where my changes over here are visible live to my students, and the students are seeing everything that I'm talking about while I'm talking about it. And an intricate assembly like this can be instructed virtually to the students. And let's take it one step further, where I am putting this on AR. So similar to what you observed earlier, let's just take a peek where I am putting this onto the table where I am sitting. Let's go. Okay. So currently you're just taking a look at my table. Maybe there may be a small change with the resolution, but just bear with that. Okay, I have just gone and placed the object. Let me zoom out and see how it's looking. So now this is looking like a very miniaturized version of the computer that is sitting on my desk, and if I want to, for example, replace this, I said that, okay, I made a mistake, I want to do this again. We can just try once more. We can do an adjustment, and there. So it is currently placed on top of the table. And if I want to look at this, let's just close the hatch over here and raise the size to a slightly more realistic size. Just bring it a little bit closer over here. Okay. There we go. So, okay, now it's still not at a very realistic size, possibly looking like a mini computer next to my monitor, but maybe at this scale, you and the students can experience this together. So if Pawan is currently in AR mode, he has the freedom to put it on any surface that he is currently looking at. So if I am trying to now further, the beauty of this is that I am currently getting up and observing this from various angles, and it is completely responding as a static object that is present in this world, and there is continuity in the object's presence. So even the student, if he's looking at this, he can observe the object if he's present in this location where I am sitting, and as long as, of course, he's limited to looking through his phone, but it's as good as present for him while I am speaking to him. So if I want to, we're all sitting virtually, and I want to do some edits to this object that I'm seeing, move some components around. Here you will see me using the pick and move tool, where I've just removed the outer casing and I'm just leaving this over here. Let's just take a look inside. I'm just moving my phone around as if the CPU were really there, and trying to pull these parts out. Now, if I want to take a closer look at, say, the motherboard, all I have to do is do a double click on it. The computer has vanished for a moment, but what we have is a motherboard that we can now look at extremely closely. You can pull out all the annotations that we have for it, including the memory modules and whatnot. And this is just, one of the ways that we can interactively work with, people that are sitting all remotely, but all of us are looking at the same 3D object. So this is, a feature, a concept that has not currently been made possible on any other platform so far. And we're just excited to, constantly keep improving on this and working on this, because this will really take the remote teaching experience onto the next level. And of course, XR meetings is just going to be one more method for you to use as a teaching aid to supplement your current lesson plans. And of course, there is all of these other features available, AR, and any lesson plan that you already, material that you already have, it is going to be very easy to just bring that up, copy paste it into your accounts on over here when you have it, and you'll be able to start using it right away. All right. So that's all that I wanted to discuss. I'm sure we covered a lot, most of the features on the platform, but there are some niche things that are still left out. We will definitely be following up with faculty of Khalsa College as and when they come across the need for checking out these features. And if anybody else over here is also interested in checking these features out in detail, or if you would like to join our experimental guest license program that we are doing, you please feel free to contact us, and of course, yeah, we'll get in touch with you. So that's all that we have for today's session. I hope everyone had a good time. We had, I think, there were some people who were trying to join the meeting, but unfortunately they had an issue. Don't worry, sir. We will just follow up with you. We can have another short test session again if you would like. But otherwise, if you are being given a guest license, you can try the XR meeting feature by yourself at any time. So the guest licenses are active for another 4, I think 5 more days. So please feel free to use them to the best capacity, show them around to your other faculty. Possibly you can show them to your students in some demonstration. If you have a virtual lecture upcoming, you can possibly just use this as a little bit of a teaser as to how it is going to add on to your current lecture material. So of course you will have to do a little bit of digging to find the right asset or the right piece of material that you can use for your lecture. But with the amount of content that we have on the platform, over 1,000 live freely available assets, we have a marketplace where if you would like to purchase an asset that others have created at a particular price, even that is there. Of course, you own the complete rights to it if you are going to put in additional money into the marketplace. But if you come in for the guest license program, you have the freedom to use all of the 1,000+ assets that we already have on. And of course, we are adding assets at a huge rate per month. So per month there is an update where bunch of assets is just added into, and many teachers, they find something new for them to use. So if anybody is ever excited, you can just reach out to us. Okay. So that's it for the session, and we are almost close to time. So if there are any questions in the chat, let's just tackle them a little bit.
Okay, sir, did we close the presentation mode, the XR meetings?
Yes, we just did.
Okay, I just got disconnected in the moment.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, I actually closed the session myself. Okay. All right. So yeah, there is one question that just came up from asking how do we get the guest license. So if you had registered, early bird when we had the registration link out a week earlier, the guest licenses were open for those attendees. So if you had signed in at that stage, we had assigned it to you. But right now, if you're still interested, there are some open guest licenses. We can follow up with you so that you can get access to it. It will be very simple. You just have to give us your email ID and your name, of course, your college affiliation. The form is still open. If you can just fill in your information, you or your colleagues, we can follow up with you and assign you a license for a while. You can test it out, show it to your students. If there is excitement within your usage and you would like to keep going with it, we'll definitely take it ahead from there. And to the faculty of Khalsa College who are currently on session today, really thank you for all the patience that you put had throughout the session, both the days, and hope you found certain features that you can use. And if there is anything that you would like to follow up on with respect to how certain things are working on the platform, we at Devlin are always open, and we are here to support and onboard you onto the platform so that you can utilize this moving ahead. Okay, so that's it for our sessions. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good time. So if there are no more questions, we will just move on to a few vote of thanks from the coordinators and from our side as well. So I see that Pratiksha madam is currently online. So madam, are we good to go?
Yeah, hi Akshat. Yeah, good to go. If you've done, I'll take over.
Yeah, sure.
So, thank you so much, Akshat, from Development Technologies, to have delivered this excellent two-day program on AR/VR as teaching aid. Thank you so much for all the participants to have come in and have encouraged Akshat so that he can give in the best of his knowledge about this technology to you. I believe, on a personal note, that because of the pandemic, everybody is at home right now and is struggling with a lot of technological issues which are pertaining to the education department. But trust me, with this AR/VR technology, we have got the world into our house right now, and we can really exploit these technologies and make sure that they are put to the best of the use to have absolutely interactive interface between student and teacher and student and the subject itself. These kind of technologies, utilization and exploiting these technologies as teaching aids will create a lot of enthusiasm in students on a lot of subjects which are relatively dry and hard to understand, where we lack the imagination power of how things work or how things are coming, or there is empirical knowledge about the subject. So with this kind of technologies and our access to these kind of technologies will make it more easier to have an interactive mode with the student and make them subject friendly to a very great extent. So I believe that all of you here who have sat through this 2 days extensive program have really understood the power of this technology and will be interested in using this technology to augment their current teaching patterns and current teaching skills. We at Khalsa College, Akshat, I'd like to inform you that we at Khalsa College will be purchasing some licensed copies of the software under the grant of generous grant from RUSA, so that the faculty members at Khalsa College can use this and begin first learning themselves and then using this as a default teaching master. I'll definitely be in touch regarding the purchasing of the and an internal training program for our selected teachers who will be using these licensed softwares for teaching. As a word of thanks, I would like to start by thanking the management of Khalsa College, the principal, Dr. Kiran Mangaonkar of Khalsa College, management representative, Mr. Govinder Singh, for their complete trust and faith in executing this program and giving Development Technologies a platform to showcase this excellent technology. I would express my heartfelt thanks to the RUSA department for being generous enough to give us an FDP grant for conducting this program. Thank you so much, Akshat, Dr. Kadam, and Dr. Vidya from Development Technologies for coordinating with me and executing this program and making sure that we are able to reach the teachers and give them all kind of support that they require for teaching and learning as well. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who have spent in their precious time, especially over the weekend, which is their personal time, to come in and learn this technology and take the maximum benefit for it. Thank you so much, one and all. I would now request Dr. Kadam to express his vote of thanks. Thanks, Akshat.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, Dr. Kadam, over to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Pratiksha, madam, you have snatched my words, but am I audible, Akshat?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. At the outset, let me thank GN Khalsa College for this wonderful event. Special thanks to Dr. Kiran Mangaonkar, Dr. Khalsi, and Dr. Pratiksha Palahe. I really know how busy you all dignitaries are as our colleges are getting into admission mode. Thanks for your time and efforts, sirs and ma'am. Okay. At the same time, I would like to thank the wonderful audience of distinguished faculties for sparing your valuable time on a weekend. Weekends are special as they are supposed to be spent with family and relax after a hard week of work. But again, it was beautiful to have you with us And a special mention to all of you is that your involvement in this session. We wanted to make it immersive, which AR and VR is all about. Speaking a little bit of ourselves, we are privileged to be associated with GN Khalsa College. We are currently training their faculties on emerging technologies like data science, AR, VR, and now with Akshat getting in deeper into blockchain, we are sure that our association with GN Khalsa College will increase manifold. Special mention to Rusa for pushing GN Khalsa College to implement this FDP. I hope that you all have enjoyed this session, and I personally would be happy if you could post questions to Akshat to push his boundaries and improve the quality of education that we educators wish to do. Thanks. With this, I would like to conclude my word of thanks.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor. And again, yeah, thanks to everybody for being here at the session today. We really appreciate all the questions that came in. People have been really inquisitive with their questions. They really want to use the platform, and it's been really, heartening to see that like real teachers and educators are excited about using this to improve their, day-to-day activities. And this is only going to spread further from here on. And I would just like to close by saying that you as teachers, faculty today are have, I would say, a little bit of a rare opportunity, because such sessions are not happening for educators at any scale, I would say. It is possibly only the realm of, very sophisticated corporates who are working specifically in this field. But we at Devlin are trying to bring this awareness and this knowledge to everybody, all faculties, because you will be the torchbearers next within your college for your students. So I just hope that you take any takeaways from these 2 days sessions and just spread the word, make this knowledge your own. And next, I would like, that you within your college are the resource person for speaking about AR and VR. So I hope everybody had a good session. We will be sharing these on YouTube as well to you, and we'll be making it available to you as registered participants. So if you would like to recap any of the sessions, feel free to check those out. We'll follow up with you soon.